Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to everybody. I hope that everyone is having a lovely day, whatever it is that they are doing. I have been playing Minecraft all day, so I've forgotten how to brain for a little bit, but that's fine. That happens pretty much every day at this point. Listen, I'm procrastinating. I mean, this is procrastination too, which is a different kind of procrastination. Like, on the one hand, I can do, like, creative writing and stuff, or I can play Minecraft. Oh well. Not a bad thing, it just is what it is. So, today, the plan is to continue with the same article that I've been working on for at least one stream, but possibly two of them. In fact, yes, two of them, because the first one was Magic plus Crystal People, second one was Crystal People, and this is the third Crystal People. Don't open the start menu. God damn it. I can't rest my hands on the keyboard. Ah! Raiders! Stay true! Welcome, Raiders! Ah! And thank you, Bob, for resubscribing! Yay! Thank you for being a subscriber. And hi, Day. It's been so long. It's not like we spoke like an hour ago on the Minecraft server. No, we haven't spoken in ages. Oh, I can't actually see that emote. Oh, it's like the black dancey thingy. Okay, sorry. I have dark mode on my phone. I'm like, what is the dark emote? My eyes are going. And I've been told to hydrate. Okay. I have a different bottle because I had to switch. I have hydrated. So welcome, Raiders. Ah, Felix the cat. Right. I didn't know names. I was like, Dancy cat. Yay, Dancy cat. So welcome to Day, Makar, Siobhan, Bob, Dansley Cat, and all other lurkers who have been brought through in the raid. I hope you've all had lovely days so far, whatever it is that you have done, and that you all have either your coffee or your sleeping aid of choice. Depending on what time of day it is and the plan for the next 2 hours. As with the last two streams, it's Crystal People time. Okay, I'll check if prompt 4 is still up, but I'm pretty sure it is. Prompt 4 is still up. Prompt 4 is still up. We haven't found out who took it, did we? Because I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this. Because the archival mechanics of World Anvil are intentionally not made explicit because we're not really supposed to make use of it. But the way that I understand the archival system to work is that if you delete an article, if you're a guild member, if you're specifically a guild member, if you delete an article and go to its edit link, it should bring up an archived version of that article. And because it didn't, I'm pretty sure it was moved. But I don't know for certain. I haven't tested it. I didn't test that hypothesis. It's just based on my experience. It's possible we got rid of the archival thing, because it used to be for everybody, and then it got changed, and then maybe it doesn't still exist, I don't know. And it's still a mystery. Darn. But at least we have it now. And I have... Well, okay, I say I've given it some thought. I literally named somebody now. And so that's one of the naming systems that they use. First name, like a name prefix, like Mac or O, and then name. I haven't figured out the formatting yet. Maybe it'll be an apostrophe. I don't know. It's something. It's extremely poorly mangled Scottish Gaelic, as usual, as is the par for the course in the Youthramor section of Synergasia. I haven't made a whole lot of progress since the last stream because I was alternately doing homework and playing Minecraft, but I did at least add a quote because I thought that I always want to have quotes in my articles to sort of ground the article in, the rest of the world, sort of, and like the people around it. And so I gave a quote that alludes to the fact that there are other things in the world, the other regions, specifically Atavia, but I didn't want to be explicit about the fact that it's Atavia, because I don't know how much Cassia wants to collaborate, because I have not spoken to Cassia, and Cassia is the only world that I have access to in Synergasi at the moment, because no one else has claimed the future non-dystopia. There's 2 islands of future non-dystopia. Take it. Take it. Join me. Make the sci-fi land of your dreams. I'm in Magitech, but I'll collaborate with sci-fi, please. Non-dystopic. Join me. So I've alluded to the fact that Atavia exists. By, I think, coincidence or possibly the fact that my brain is bad, we have the same premise for people, I think. It's just that our mine's specifically crystal magic, and Cassia's is just, like, magic. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. And you're gonna get community to put a police report in Cassia. Oh, that'll be good. That'll be good. Wanted. Missing article. Wanted, the fiend who stole the article. Missing article. Kidnapped. Off the streets. Last seen. On sometime last week. Ah, and Harold's table will take one. Ooh. Yes. Add more to this region, because we're a fairly lowly populated region. We're not the least populated, to my knowledge. Based on my extremely poor recollection, we are not the least populated. I don't actually remember. Oh, I'm just gonna go to the home page. That'll make it easier. Even though I think the available regions is out of date, because it's not actually got Scribe and Cody in there. Temporal zones. There's 2 there. Oh yeah, no. We're not the least populated, because there's only a single region claimed here. I don't remember what. Is that... Ah, yeah. Age of Sail. Oh, no, there's a lot of... Oh, what? There's plenty of fantasy, isn't there? Or is that what Aquilanus is? Is Aquilanus the pure fantasy? Because this is... Oh, I didn't link these ones. I forgot. I was gonna... Because I linked some of them. Because, yeah, Makara added that theirs was called Greyburn. And so I went through a couple to add their names to it. And there are a couple that I haven't gotten. Yes, I did check available, but some of it's out of date because it's actually missing the Scribe. Because this is Scribe's region here. Sound gone? Oh, piss. Sound gone? Sound gone? No, I've still got audio capture. I have audio. It's telling me it's capturing audio. I haven't changed anything. I have not touched my audio settings since I started streaming. I have left them, which is why they're probably not decent, but it's fine. Music's gone? Oh, for God's sakes. What is it doing? Nope, it's caching desktop audio. Do I need to do... Oh, what if I just pop that bit up? There you go. It's louder now. That's fine, Makar. I do that all the time. I had Google Chrome at like 75% volume for like 2 months before I realized that was why I had to bump everything up to like 25, like, computer. Yeah, the region... Yeah, you're right. The planning document is up to date. I couldn't remember the divisions that we had. Because you got... Right. Ah, okay, so we've got 1 classical era. But then we've got 3 Euro fantasy, we've got 2 Bronze Age. So I wasn't expecting 2 Bronze Age, but everyone's like, yeah, Bronze Age. And we got 1 late Euro fantasy. We've got a shit ton of here in the Victorian. And then there's 2 Modern World. There's 2 Modern World and there's 2 Future Non-Apocalyptic. Okay. Got it. So it's these two specifically. the classical era and late Renaissance that are quite lowly populated. But more people the better. More people. Join the future non-apocalypse. Or the future apocalypse. Destroy the world, I don't care. I mean, like, my world could become a post-apocalypse if I wanted it to, but I don't. It is extremely easy to destroy Utremoch and basically wreck it. It's just called you pick up a rocket launcher and you fire like a Fat Man missile at the crystal and then it goes. That's it. But we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna fire the Fat Man at the big crystal. That's not a good idea. We don't want that. No one wants that. Yeah, post-apocalypse has 0, so like, honestly, just post-apocalypse people should come in. They should have just their minor regional collapse of some kind. I'm down for like a zombie apocalypse. We got gothic horror. We're like halfway there. You just need a couple of zombies, just go haywire, and that can be our one of the apocalypses. Me crush pretty rock. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yep. Yep, Daz and Moon there by themselves, yep. They are indeed. Which is a shame, and I'd like to see more people to join them, or some way to, you know, get them some collaboration. Because it kind of sucks to be on your own, I feel like. Because it'll be interesting once we get sort of the basis set up a bit more, that we can sort of actually start to collaborate and like, hey, do you want like an adventurer to come to my side? Do you want to write like quotes for my articles? Because like I do the quotes for my articles based on an in-world experience, and I could be like, hey, if I write an article, would you like to write a quote for it based off of how someone from your culture would, as a tourist, see this stuff? Like, it'll be interesting to be able to do that later, once we've all sort of set up. Once I have countries and everything else, because I haven't done that yet, there's at least 2. There's at least 2, probably 3. Yeah. And then there's too many creepy neighbors. Oh, yeah. Because there's all the gothic horrors around. It's like, oh no. Do not step off the street. You stay on the main street. You do not take the side lane. The side lane is where the horror is. Don't take the lane. And I don't know what Carillian's bomb was called. It's unfortunate. I don't know things. I don't read as much as I'm supposed to. I still need to read like all the contest entries, or at least a couple of them. Because I have not read anywhere near as many as I should have. Okay, so where was I? We were up to reproduction. Which the reason we stopped is because it was midnight and I wanted to play Minecraft for 4 hours. So I need to figure out what that is. And I still have all of these big notes, which is the majority of the word count is just this. These notes in here. Classical fantasy. Yeah, time moment. Honestly, fair. I can completely understand that. Like, I haven't gotten anywhere near as much done in Synergassi as I would have liked to, because I've been quite busy. And yes, I keep saying that I've just been playing Minecraft all day, but like, I have homework as well, and I'll be like, I want to just completely unwind, and I'll play Minecraft instead of doing anything else. So like, it's all like, and we don't have to be like super active anyway. Like, the prompts are basically just suggestions. Just like, hey, you should maybe work on this stuff. It's okay, at your own pace. So there is that flexibility, but obviously if you've got like 700 products already in the air, maybe don't, you know? If that's not going to be something that you're going to work on much. Be like, yeah, I'll just focus on the ones that I currently have. I think the main reason I can do Synergassi is because I basically only have one project, and I've had one project for like 2 years now. Wait. Oh no, this year's 2nd year anniversary, wasn't it? Yeah. Nope, it's been 2 years. So, hey! Working on one wheel for 2 years, I'm like, I need something a little bit different. Aside from the brief, sabbaticals for, like, cyberpunk stuff, which didn't go far. Yeah, there's no rush. It's here for the long haul. Woo! Oh, and Makara's got guns. Shoot the Eldritch Horror! Bam, bam, bam! Yeah, Minecraft is mostly mindless entertainment, and Synergassi I have to actually think with my brain. I have to actually just go like, oh, I got it. Alright. Brain work. Like, I've just been building like a rainbow tower and like, I've just been doing it, you know? Of course, like the jungle veterans use their experience to deal with unknown horrors. Ooh, that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. There's a lot of exciting things to do in that area. Yeah. Yeah, like an eldritch horror in the woods is not that much different from like a big like tiger in the woods. You know? It's just one of them is beyond mortal comprehension and the other is a tiger. Like, it's, you know, comparable experiences. You can take the skills from one and apply it to the other, in theory. As long as it bleeds. Yeah, as long as it bleeds. Okay, so. Duanums. Is it, do I pluralize? I do pluralize it. Every sentence begins with duanum. God damn it. Human eyes. Duanums. Know me deeply. Pretty sure I do. But I don't really want to check. Oh god. I'm taking everything to not make it the Vegas reference. Okay, so. Bottoms. Well, hold on. So. You make notes first. So. I think part of the reason I stopped here was that I was still working out calendar base. Alright, yeah, okay. No, fair enough. Fair enough. We all bleed. We're all gonna bleed somehow. Oh god, because the reason I stopped is because I didn't have the calendar set out, because the original plan for Outre-mer was that it was going to use a lunar calendar. And that's complicated by the fact that there are 2 moons, and also that one of them does not math very cleanly, and I'm not good at math. And so I was having a lot of difficulty making like a calculator that could translate between the universal time date of 360-day years from the lunar calendar based off the small moon, which was only like 302 days long or something, 328, where it would just lose a shit ton of days every year and would eventually loop around to being, well, it would be 2 years ahead, and then it'd be 3 years ahead, and then 4 years ahead in terms of year number, and I was like, oh, Jesus. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to keep that, because it makes sense, but also, oh my god. I hate it. I hate math. From the being a phone asked, do you believe the best most of them just monthly, but not for you in this type of God damn. Alright. You just, god damn. Hell yeah. And Bob needs ideas, but the next prompt is planned, not written. And it hasn't been long since prompt 4, and I think people are still working through prompt 3 because it was such a huge prompt. Like, the 2 prompts mesh quite well, because, like, you know, you put the naming conventions in the ethnicity articles that you may have written for prompt 3, and so we're still sort of going through that. So, next prompt, probably not now. Maybe a little bit. In a bit. I'd like at least one ethnicity article written before we have next prompt. Ah, hydrate. Hydrate. I have to. Thursday's prompt date. Okay, so I have work to do. I have a lot of work to do. As I think I was saying, I wasn't sure if I was going to keep the small lunar calendar because it's a pain in the butt. And that's why I have the moons article up. Because what I was thinking was, the reason I picked lunar calendar for Outre-mer was that in the mythology of the people in the region, the sun is a prick, basically. The sun is just a prick. And so I figured they wouldn't base their calendar off of the solar year because the sun's an asshole. So they would pick lunar, and I went, well, the small moon is the less bright moon. That makes sense, I guess. And then I think at like 3 a.m. one day I had an epiphany that, oh hey, this could be mythologically significant. That we call the larger moon the helper. I was like, hey, hold on, this could be relevant. And so I think I was gonna swap to a big lunar calendar because A, it maths cleanly. It maths very cleanly. 72 times, I think 6, no, hold on, 5 is 360. I'm like, yes! Yes. So it was gonna math cleanly, because then it would just be offset by like 10 days each year. Like, okay, like UTD day 1 is Utrecht day 10, or whatever. It flipped that script. And so that was gonna be interesting, because that makes describing time scales easier if I know what the calendar is. And I can just be vague and say a year, but then how long is a year? What does that mean? How specific do I need to be? Do I say lunar cycles? How big's the lunar cycle? How much detail do I need? Yeah, so the big lunar year is the solar year. It's just offset by like 28 days or something. Which was good. When I figured that out, I was like, oh, that makes it way easier if I do the big moon. And because it's called the helper, I can tie that into the mythology and have it be that, like, a moon god was chill and helped, like, protect the people of Utrecht from the asshole sun or something. I haven't figured that out yet. And I might take the name in full. I might possibly change the name Voithos just for the region. Or for the god specifically. They might have a separate name for the god and the moon. Because the moon is not called Yeser. So the sun is not called Yeser, but the sun god is. And I'm like, eh. And 5 big months is 1 hand of months. Hell yeah. Calendars are hard, and we haven't done a calendar prompt yet, so I don't need to think about it too much. I'm just overthinking it, because I'm like, well, reproduction, I usually would describe it as like, oh, like 9 months, right? But if the months are 72 days long each, then what? It's not 9 months, it's like 4. I don't want to do the math on that. I'm gonna do the math on that. Sorry. 72 times 5. No, okay, sorry. 4. 28. And then 30 times 9. Yeah, like 4 months, right? But I have to, like, specify. I have to basically put tooltip, like, months are 72 days long. You can do the math. You do the math. I won't do that. 5 times 8 times 9 is the year structure. Basically 2 months per season, 5 seasons, and each week is related to the moon phase. You get the new moon, the quarter week, the half week, and the full week. Ah, okay, right. So that's, so 10 months total. Each is, oh dear, 28 days. That's the one. No, it's not. That's not what that is. 36. Got it. Oh my god, right? Am I getting that? No, I've done the math work, haven't I? Oh god, oh Jesus. My math teacher is very disappointed in me. I'm sorry, Miss Bishop. I'm sorry, Miss Nichols. 9 days a week. Okay, yeah. Right. So either 6 work, 3 rest, or 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Ah, that would be interesting. There's no hump day if it's a wave. It's all humps. It's all peaks and valleys. At that point, it's just going wheelie, wheelie, wheelie. But also, hell yeah, I love midweek breaks. That would be very interesting. And finally back from new to full again. Yeah, I guess that's the issue, is that doesn't the lunar calendar run 28? And 9 times 4 is 36. Right? Isn't it 28? Am I getting my math wrong again? Because it was definitely an annoying number. Yeah, so the small one was 28. Well, I guess if it's half of Voithos. Yeah, it's half of Voithos, never mind. Got it. It's half of Voithos, right? That's what we're doing. So you basically go new, quarter, half, full, full, half, quarter, new. And you do the wiggity wiggity. The wiggity wiggity. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. Because I guess that, like, because 72 is kind of unwieldy as a number to have in a number of days in a month. I mean, based on the single evidence of I use the the Gregorian calendar, and it's only 30, well, 31, and that's already a pain in the butt. Yeah, the full wax cold week, and then you get the full wane plant week. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it does, so like, yeah, okay. Got it. Split Voithos in half. Yeah, so half the big one is 36. Yeah. So 9 times 4 is 36. So... and it adds up. I may have confused people because I don't know what I'm doing. No, I know normal months are 31 in Gregorian. I'm saying that's the most I have to deal with in terms of a number for months. Like, the highest date I have to deal with is the 31st of a month, as opposed to the 72nd of a month. And so based purely off that experience, I'm like, 72 is going to be a pain to work with. And so I haven't figured that out. Or Julian, okay. I thought it was Gregorian. Because Julius Caesar fixed it. Well, because what he did is, like, in, like, the year 44 BC or something, the longest year in the world, he had to add, like, 7 months to the year to make it fix itself, because the calendar sucked. And then he introduced the Julian calendar. And then it got tweaked in, like, I don't know, 1500 BC AD or something, because they were out by, like, half a day, or, like, a quarter of a minute or something. So when Julius Caesar made the calendar, and then, like, 1,000 years later, we went, oh, it's slightly out of line by, like, this much. Because they figured out that the rotation of the Earth was 365 and a quarter or something. And that's very close. But it's, like, there's a little extra, like, couple hours floating around in there. And so in Gregorian, they brought in, like, some other stuff. Slightly. They made some slight changes. Plus, it's also, like, we named him August. Augustus was after Julius. It's all complicated. Calendars are weird. But he did a pretty good job that we still use it. Yeah, so it was just slightly off, but they were very close for the, like, considering the time period of, you know, like, 44 BC. I don't think it was 44 BC, but it's, like, in the 40s. 30s? It's in, like, that 20-year range. When did Julius die? I'm not looking up when Julius Caesar died. I'm not doing that. But if I assume, just for my part of Synergasia, that we're doing 5 big moon months, which are each 72 days, and we call them months because I hate language, then we can, like, just say 4 months, which is more amount of time than 9 months Earth like Gregorian calendar, but not by much, like by like 2 weeks. And then that's like, yeah, it's slightly longer. You do the math. And that way they're still like close enough to human. It's like, oh, okay. He fixed the 12 to 14 day drift because they were going a bit too fast, right? Because they were doing it quarter. They based it off every year out of 4th day, or extra day, or whatever. It's like, okay, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. We're gonna jump back slightly, right? Or am I off the ball again? I only have so much random knowledge, so you have kids for 4 months, 288 days, each 4 months, 72. I make my notes and then we can make them cleaner later. Okay, we have kids for 4 months, average lifespan, pretty damn long, does vary by region. Did I mention? I said longer than humans. Very helpful. If I assume the average is like 6, what's the average? Like 80, right? I need this answer, please. 79. We'll go like 85. 85. The lane adjustment that fine-tuned the requirement to keep the direction negligible. Ah, yes. But they were doing weird things with it, weren't they? Like, there was something about it where, like, they didn't have leap years when, like, in 1900 flat. They didn't have a leap year in 1900 flat because of reasons, but they did have it in 2000, and that was part of the Y2K bug. Part of it. It was obviously significantly more complicated than that because a lot was happening in the year 1999. I don't remember any of it because I was like 6 months old, but thing went woo. So we only let 2000 have it because 2000 is like double divisible by 4. Like doubly so. Because it's 20. So like what? 20 it'll be 2400 before we get the next 100 leap year. Unless we change it. So I know this. I know this particular bit of history. I don't remember how, but I do know that like that was part of shenanigans. It obviously wasn't the main thing with Y2K. The main thing was overflow errors. Because they were just like, oh, we only need, we don't have to put 1910. I can just put 10 or, 60. You can just put 60. And then it hits to, and then it just goes 0 and then everything goes. And I'm positive that the Duanum have had a similar experience. People, they probably did the exact same thing at some point. Yeah, they used to do this. They only put 60. They didn't even put 960, just 60. And so it would hit 99. They'd be like, oh wait, oh no, there is only 2 digits. It's gonna overflow back to 00. And that's not gonna work. And then everything goes poof. Suddenly it's 1900, baby. And it's like, no, it's 2000. Oof. Rough stuff. But then there was also like, leap day, and everyone was like, what the fuck? We didn't program for this. We didn't program for the 2000. That'll be fun in 2100. They'll be like, oh shit, we programmed in a leap day on the computer, but we're not supposed to have one. 53 week years. That's more annoying. Actually, there's USA and different years, 53. Really? Huh. Oof. Oh, yeah, wait, 53 weeks. Yeah, I guess because, like, overflow. Using something else today. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that was actually a regional difference. Because diaries start on Monday, but I think my calendar, like, my, hanging calendar that I bought at, Typo or whatever, that starts on Sunday. And I understand why you start on Sunday, because that means that you can, if you have, a flip page where it's, a week per page, you then get to flip, and you can see the whole rest of, the next week, the next work week on Sunday, as opposed to, having your fun Sunday, and then going to bed, flipping the page for tomorrow, and going, oh, fuck. So I understand why Sunday starting first makes sense, and I think I use it in a lot more places than I would otherwise. But that might be because I'm a very Americanized Australian. That might just be one of my things that I do, is that I just pick up random bits of American stuff, and I'm just like, mine. I'll never pick up imperial measurement, but I'll pick up your calendar shit. to a point. So I'll start on the Sunday for some things. Mostly just for planning, because you don't do stuff on Sundays that much. So it's like, okay. You spend Sunday slacking off. The assumption is you've gone out on Saturday, got pissed drunk. You have a hangover the entirety of Sunday. But it means you can at least see what's on tomorrow so you can prepare for it. I don't drink, so I don't have this problem. I do not have this problem. But I'm still like, yeah, it's nice to know what's happening next week. Oh, okay, so it's only a 53 week in America, and then 2021 will be a 53 week most other places because it starts on a Monday. Huh. That sounds like a pain. That sounds like an absolute pain. Anyone as well. Ah, yes. Excellent. I was like, what do you mean week 53? Sunday first day is a Christian. Oh. Oh, that makes some sense. Yeah. I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to accept that as like, that makes sense, given my vague understanding of how America religion works. Because, like, we're Christian too, in a but majority, like, majority. But we start on Monday, probably because we're slightly less Protestant, but only slightly. I say as a nominal Protestant. It's like, slightly? Maybe? Unclear. Different time period of the splits. You know? A lot of Anglicans. A lot of Anglicans. I say that. I think, like, a lot of my ancestors were Catholic, and I'm like, how did this happen? I'm so confused. Religion is confusing. But it makes sense that you'd be like, oh yeah. You start the week by going to church and doing all that stuff, and then the week begins. The rest goes on. Whereas I'm thinking in times of like, I can see what's happening in next week because I don't do anything on Sundays, except for play video games. Yeah. Yeah, and so like that's basically the split. Is if you start the calendar on Sunday for like I guess religious reasons or planning purposes, and then Monday being first is because that's the first day of the weekday, and so it makes sense to start there. I can understand the merits of both systems. They both make sense, and I have a bunch of calendars that do both. That do either or. Like I have my calendar that starts on a Sunday. There's a calendar on the fridge that starts on Monday. My, like, diary starts on Mondays and lumps Saturday and Sunday together because it needs to be even pages. So it goes like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, flip page, Monday, Tuesday. It does all of that. Ah, okay. The last 100 years, true secularism, of course, other. Ah, gotcha. That makes sense. That does make sense. And yeah, and the ASD calendar starts on Sunday too. So there's just a bunch of different calendars going. That's because it's Google, and Google's American. Goddamn Yanks doing all this, confusing my brain. Maybe that's why I use Sunday first all the time. It's because the internet is a lot American. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's how calendars work. Had no reason to question it. It's just everywhere. Okay, so then that's the kid thing, and like lifespan. The assumption is the age of adulthood is similar. Google is American. Lesson. Lesson. Father Montefiore didn't handle 53 problems, so use Sunday's week start. Oh, oops. Oops. I don't mean to insult America. I'm just saying that the internet is a lot American, and I wouldn't be... Oh, God. Listen, I've absorbed a lot of American stuff in my time as an individual on this earth. Was raised on American movies. I had a really strong American accent for some reason until, like, age 15 or something, and I'm like, why did that happen? Don't totally understand that. You know, it just be like that. Things do be happening like that. And I'm pretty sure the more streams I watch, the more my accent is just like, hey, everyone else is speaking American. Speak American. I'm like, ah! Man from Snowy River? What's this about Man from Snowy River? Not much. I mean, yeah, my accent is not super strong, and I haven't absorbed that much American movies compared to most people in America, and I guess North America just in general, but I've absorbed a lot. Haven't absorbed a whole lot of okay, maybe the specific is that I've absorbed a lot of American, a lot of, like, British, specifically British, And then not a whole lot Australian. Just not a whole lot. Oh, right, Snowy River, right. Sorry, that's in Sydney, I forgot it. Well, it's in New South Wales. I forgot about Snowy River. Listen, I'm from Victoria. I forget New South Wales exists all the time. I mean, we do have Australian films, they just tend to star American actors. Which is why it gets weird. Like, I'm pretty, like, we had them, I mean, I guess, well, we had some stars. Like, we had, like, Nicole Kidman. That's something. I mean, she's fine. She's fine. Yeah, I just don't watch a whole lot of Australian films. So I was like, I've seen a lot of American stuff, just in general. And then British as well. Yeah. I sound more Australian now than I did when I was a bit younger. That said, I have never been a rhotic speaker. I'm not... I think it was specifically that if I was going to have an American accent, it would be East Coast. Because East Coast is more non-rhotic. Like, not Boston. It was never Boston. Jesus Christ. But that was the first city that came to mind, was like Boston. Very, very distinctively non-rhotic. And like New York as well. And just like that kind of eastern seaboard area. Because they're non-rhotic. But no one when I was little ever specified what they meant by American. They just said, you sound American, and moved on. And I'm like, what does that mean? Tell me. Where? No one's been able to tell me. So I became more Australian in teens, because I was just like, I need to compensate. Yeah, and Hugh Jackman as well, yeah. I forgot about Hugh Jackman. I was thinking of the movie Australia, starring Nicole Kidman, which I've never seen. And we have, like, Aussie filmmakers, but I haven't seen most of their films, is the issue. Well, I am Melbourne. That's the thing. I'm from Melbourne. Like, that's where I live. So I should sound Melburnian, but I don't. Because there's like there's a bit of a divide in Melburnian accents, because like in general, the younger kids sound slightly more American. Oh, he's in that movie too. Shit. I couldn't remember who the male lead was in that movie. I'm sorry. I've never seen the movie Australia, because why would I? I've got other things to do. Like rewatch Who's Line, you know? It's got that stuff. Yeah, blue collar New York is still distinct. You know, you're walking here. But a lot of, like, it's a general, like, flattening. It'll never flatten off completely. Like, there's never going to be a singular American accent. Like, there is, like, a standard American, which is mostly, like, TV Americans speak. They have a specific accent they try to teach to some presenters so that it's understandable to the most people possible. Because if you come on to your TV that's broadcasting across the country, and you've got a thick, like, Appalachian accent or something, people in California are like, what the fuck is going on here? So, you know, they have, like, a standard, but they try and, like, make it a bit more broad. But it's never going to flatten off completely. Like, South Australia sounds very British, for instance, in Australia. I've seen Happy Feet. I hate Happy Feet. Do not show me Happy Feet. I've seen it. Ah, yes, Doctor Who, that too. All that Brit. And a lot of American movies yeah, they are. They're all filmed in Toronto. Right? I'm pretty sure that's exactly where they film it. They film it in Toronto. And so does Bollywood. Bollywood also films in Toronto. Because Toronto got that cash. They're like, hey, film here. You can pretend this is New York. Don't worry about it. Vancouver? Oh, okay. But also Toronto sometimes. Sometimes Toronto. I don't know. I guess it's just cheaper in Canada. Sometimes. Rainbow was filmed in Hope, British Columbia. Ah. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, that's true. There is like a general flatten, but it's never going to flatten completely. We're never all going to have the same accent. That's just not going to happen. There's always going to be little regional bits. Like, I mean, Australia or South Australia has been part of the Commonwealth for, what, 100 years, same as everybody else. They still sound extremely British. Like, distinctively British. You can tell a South Australian apart from someone from Melbourne. They sound totally different. Unless you're also with someone from South Africa, because they actually sound weirdly similar. South African, South Australian, they sound weirdly similar, and it freaks me out. And the Arrowverse is filmed in Vancouver. We can just go film in Vancouver, it's fine. It's great. It's fine. We love to film in the wrong places, because it takes too much money to film in the proper place. Especially if it's like small town, you're like, no, I'm not going to actually go to, you know, whoop whoop, Arizona. No point. We're just going to go to some other whoop whoop that's cheaper and closer to the area. We'll be colonizing the galaxy, and accents will re-arise. Rise! We will all have, I'll have the Alpha Centaurian accent, the Sol accent, the Beta Centauri. I've forgotten the names of any other star systems. Oops. The Andromedan accent for galaxies versus the Milky. I guess the Milky accent. Milky accent. Disgusting. Empire film that had a scene filmed in a high school in Vernon, British Columbia. Nice. I think actually we get some things filmed out here. Specifically at my local big shopping center. They filmed a scene from Neighbors at the, like, village cinemas. Yeah, it's the Milky Way, but you don't say Milky Way in Galaxy. That sounds too... Milky Way in accent. I said Milky accent. Shorten it down. But yeah, so they filmed a scene from Neighbors at the local village cinemas in, like, the 90s. And I'm like, I don't even watch Neighbors. This doesn't mean anything to me. That is not... It's a fun tidbit, but it means nothing to me. And then Ghost Rider was filmed. Things are filmed in Melbourne. They're just not filmed out here. Okay? You shouldn't understand this. No one films out here. Oh, of course he was a background shot. Why wouldn't he be a background shot? He's in everything. He's everywhere. He's not listening, is he? Based on the description, he's been in everything. So of course he's in a background shot in Ghost Rider. Why wouldn't he be? Oh god. Okay. Man's had a long life. If you told me he was an assassin, I'd believe him. And then probably die for knowing too much. You know? That's just how it'd be. What was else I gonna put here? So it's like they have kids for 4 months, 9 months. They live pretty long. Oh, right, the mechanics. Well, not the mechanics. I'm not going to go into detail with that's disgusting. Because I think someone else who wrote a species article in Sino Garcia mentioned the gender element, or I guess the sex specifically. We'll say sex. The sex elements of, like, you know, I think they had quote both. Whose was that? I've forgotten whose that was, but somebody did that. Where they were just like, yeah, there's no gender. You can do both of them at once. And I'm like, oh, neat. Cool. I appreciate it. Where was it? Let's just go on here. Here. Where you find everybody's species articles again. I think there's more here than there was before. Ah, yes, we've got the human issue. Human issue. Oh, it's alphabetical. Neat. The quack ones? Sorry, I read that as quackers for a second. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't read it as a Q quokka, but I was like, quokka? I was positive it was going to be pronounced quokka. Just for a second. Because it's so close. So close to quokka. It just needed to not have on and one. It didn't be quokka. So close. Pardon me? Alright. I keep looking at this one because they're in my region, so I'm like, hi, yes, we are friends. Yes, it was this one. I figure if I should be reading anyone, it should be the ones in the region in my temporal zone. And it's like, ah, yes, they do both the things. And so I think I was going to include that in here. In this section. I think that was my idea. Hold on. Graphic, average. Species reproduction. Is that in basic? I guess it's in basic. Ah, yes, genetics and reproduction. Okay. Hey, really? Right, okay, right. How the genetics are passed on, not just general genetic. So they're going, wait, why would you put the genetics there and not anywhere else? But that makes sense. I think I get it. Again, species temperature are my least favorite, which is why we're only doing like one. Maybe there might be a second one, unless I write about creatures. But like it'll be like the Duanum, and then maybe an article for the gods. Maybe I might just put them in like a. No, they might have not. I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. So it's gonna be a gender element, which is the pain. It haunts me. Otherwise, it just goes they, and everyone just this is people just go brain, and I was like, ah, shit. So I feel like since the whole idea is crystals is the big bit here, and your blood is basically just magic, I feel like it doesn't make sense to say that any two people could not get it on and have a kid, right? I don't feel like it makes sense to make a distinction. Well, this is technically sex, not gender, but like sex, like the biology. Like it doesn't make sense to me to have that distinction if in universe they believe themselves to have been partially like deliberately made. If I'm thinking from the perspective of the specific god they attribute the creations to, I'm like, yeah, why would you make it so two people could not bang? It's mostly about crystals. So I feel like the answer is there is no biological sex. Go ham. Like, you can just do it. It's magic, baby. Just fucking, you do it. That's it. Oh yeah, mass ethnicities. This is gonna have a lot of ethnicities as well, because I want to get the regional variants, because they're like all down here. Like there's the South Islanders, the Calderans, the Dwarf people, which is not a separate species. I'm using it as a placeholder. Then there's like the Northeasterners, there's like the Centralers, which are like the Calderans, but different. There's the West Coast, I don't know what their deal is. You know, just a lot of it. Might be mountain people who are distinct, but that's like the main divide. And I think if I'm able to finish this article today, if I actually get a move on, the idea was I was going to start working on either the Calderans or the central areas as like the most representative or majority populace, the biggest ethnicity in the area, just because they are. And then the second one that I would do would be the Northeast Coast, because they are the biggest minority in terms of being distinct. Because like the Calderans and the Centrals are very close, and I might actually just merge them together. But I might just put these as Calderans. Calderans. It makes my life way easier if I just call them Calderans. And then the South is different, the Dwarves are different, the Northeast is distinct. It's like these two, and then like, I don't know what their deal is. They reproduce by splitting off a growth of crystal from themselves and placing it into an incubator. I mean, I think this was part of like the discussion I had with myself at one point, where I wasn't sure how non-flesh and blood I wanted to make them. Was that I was kind of worried that depending on how the system of reproduction works, that the way that then disability would work in the setting would get kind of weird. Because I think about it a lot, because I want to, like, it's just like a personal thing that I'm like, I'd like to have a decent amount of like disabled representation in my my world building. I think it's important because they don't really get the representation that they really should, because there are a lot of people, and it's just like, and when you get into a lot of like future, like big like sci-fi settings, they often just go like, oh yeah, no, we don't need wheelchairs because everyone has prosthetic legs that work perfectly. And I'm like, but no. And so my worry with making it so you like chip off a piece of your crystal and put it into an incubator is that then if that child is like, you know, created and has a disability, then that is an explicit mistake. To me, the way that I interpret that is that if that child is not formed correctly, that is a mistake, like a mistake has been made, which is not how disability generally works. Generally, there are a lot of disabilities where it's just genetics be a pain in the ass sometimes, right? Like, I probably have either the carrier genes or the actual genes of like heart condition just up there somewhere, because that's just how the genetics work, right? That's just how it happens. It just passes down. And no one in my family made a mistake in having that be how the genetics work. That's just how the genetics happen. But if you have to make several conscious decisions in how your child is formed, then if that child is then formed incorrectly, that is a mistake. And I didn't want that, I think. Right? I don't know if any of this makes sense. I might be super overthinking it, considering it's like a fantasy race. But I'm like even though they have pretty fancy tech, it's still like, if your spinal cord is severed, your spinal cord is severed, you know? Like, that's... magic will only do so much for you at that point. So I'm like, I wanted that, like, biologic, like, chance and diversity and mutation and all that, where things that happen, they just happen. Sometimes you're just born like that. Sometimes you acquire it later. Sometimes you get in a car accident, whatever. But like, it just happens sometimes. I mean, 2 or more. Oh, I hadn't thought of the 2 or more. Like the or more part. I thought of the 2, obviously. Yeah, I figured that was the kind of idea where just like, if you interact in a special way, the crystal is formed. In one of them, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. you just a little, one of them carries it, or like 3 people get together and then just a crystal appears and they're like, okay, take it to the incubator. But it's still like a specific like combination of their genetics, rather than you just like chip one off yourself and make like clones, basically. I mean, yeah, it could be genetic flaws in the crystal structure. There would still be a degree of chance, but if it's a deliberate choice, to me, that means that there's that huge area for, if you do this wrong, things will go wrong, and then everyone judges you, and then it just gets kind of weird, and I'm just like, I don't want to be ableist in here, I just want to have a good time. So I overthink it drastically. If our pinkies touch together, a crystal grows. If we hold our pinkies together for 5 minutes, when we remove them, one of us will have a crystal in our pinky, and now it's our job to raise the child. It's a random dice roll when we do it. And so you get like 7 people all just trying to get their pinkies to touch in a circle. Oh god. That sounds incredible. And crystal egg. I mean, yeah, crystal egg. Because like, it is like, the crystal is not like, it can grow. Crystals can grow. I think I even mentioned that in the magic article, that crystals could grow. Did I mention crystals could grow? Was it confused? Oh no. Did I mention they could grow? Or did I not? I don't think I did. Ooh. Oops. They grow. They grow a little bit. Very, very little. I think I'll have to make a separate article about crystals. Talk about their, like, physical geology. And the fact that they grow bigger. Specifically, like, the big one. The big one grows bigger. Some others might too as well. Like, just a little bit. And you can just grow one. Yes, interact in a specific way, and crystal do be growing. So, no biological difference between genders. Kids are formed when 2 or more individuals get together and do the nasty. which will result in a small crystal forming inside one of them. What? Why did I get them twice? I think I did. And then that crystal grows bigger and woo, baby. My notes are very bad. I'm always not going into detail because, ugh, gross. But I feel like that basically covers it. I do like I like the or more element. Even though it's like a throwaway, I think it's like that could be useful culturally to explain things and have, you know, big polyamorous rock families. Woo! We love it. You love to see it. It's just fun stuff. Ugh. So adjust every like 5 minutes, like I think that's mostly it for that section. I'll put no, I'm going to put genetics. No, I will put genetics and reproduction. I'll make it the same as the the default header for that. So, no biological difference between genders. Kids are formed when 2 or more people do the nasty. And one of them will get a crystal. Can they choose? I don't know. Presumably there's a degree of choice, considering that the assumption is basically the reason the crystal is formed is because they all have their big crystals in their hearts, and they, like, interact during the intimacy. And that presumably means there's a degree of conscious thought in, hey, if we're gonna have a kid, I want you to have it. I assume. And then if you both disagree, like neither of you can agree on who should have the kid, then it just won't happen. The crystal just won't form. Or maybe it'll be like, going back to the crystal egg, sort of like how, like, chickens will just have eggs that just don't have the fetus in it. Just like an empty egg. It'd just be like that, kinda. And if they both want to have the child, well, like, if the two people, let's just say two, say for example, say that there's 2 people, and person A wants to carry the kid, and person B wants to carry the kid, then I guess the crystal will just form outside, empty, kind of like an egg. If they both want to carry the same child, so like A and B want A and B to carry the kid, then twins? Twinsies? You can have twinsies. Or, you know, you can expand beyond that if you just have, like, 7 people. And they're all like, hell yeah, we want kids. Then there's just like 7 kids. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so it could either be that they have, I feel like there needs to be a degree to which, like, if someone says, I do not want to carry the kid, then they do not carry the kid. No matter what, like, you have that ultimate out of, if you don't want that child, you do not have it. That's important to me, just like, nah, none of that. I don't like having that idea of just, like, not having the choice and having your partner literally, like, magically override your decision on the matter. So if you don't want it, you don't have it. But if you don't care, then it's random. Or it can be twins. Who knows? Maybe you can only have one child yourself, but if both of you definitely want kids and don't care who has it, then maybe both of you have it. I don't know. Crystals are hard. Ah, raiders! Ah, you come in a very awkward time. I apologize. you have raided an interesting conversation, Lemon Raiders. I hope you all had a productive stream and got a lot of stuff done during the sprints. I know that Ryder Greg's evening sprints from yesterday evening were very helpful to me in getting my homework done. Yes, evening was at like 12 p.m., but evening. Yeah. It was random reminiscing about the possible outcome. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like having the ultimate override of I do not want kids should be important. You know, in terms of like weird magical shenanigans. But if you don't care, then sure. And if say like your partner does not want to carry the kid, but you do, then when the things happen, then it's a 50-50 chance or whatever that that other person will have it, and that you won't. You just won't have it. I feel like that's helpful. We were doing magic stuff. You can just basically like magic contraception. You just say, I don't want it. And it's like, oh, that works. Okay. Right. Oh, I'm sorry, Ray. Did you come at a very, very awkward time? The immortals can have offspring at will, and the mortals cannot. In multiple want twins. Yeah. I mean, it's either multiple want twins or something like that. Or more. As you can see, when 2 or more, you can make it as big as you want. But, like, there's a degree of, like, basically, when you're being the intimate, you can opt in to whether you would want to carry the kid. And so, basically, then all of you get entered into a random pot. And it'll basically roll, like, flip a coin and be like, okay, so are you gonna have a kid? Flip for heads, okay, so there's gonna be a kid. And then you roll through, like, I don't know, if there's 3 people and they all want to have the kid, then you roll a goddamn D3 or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay, so then person A is gonna have it. And then sometimes there's that random chance of, like, there's gonna be 2 of them. Shenanigans, you know? Or more. And just whoosh. So you can opt out, or you can opt in. Basically, it's an opt-in to whether you want to have the chance of having the kid. And I feel like that's useful. Yeah, and if an immortal mates with a mortal, offspring immortal, yeah, that makes sense. But this is fantasy rock people with magic brains, so things get weird. Maybe get sent to another universe for 30 days, return back to a universe, been 5 years, everyone else. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh. Time travel do be like that sometimes. You go out, and you come back in, and time dilation, go whoosh. Oof. That's rough. That's rough for that heroine. Is that the word biology? Yes. And are typically capable of reproducing with any other duanum. Yeah. Fantasy procreation is weird. is generally the end of the conversation. It's just weird when you add in all these random fantasy elements of like, hey, it's time travel, and hey, you know, time dilations, and you know, weird like interspecies. Like, what is happening? What is going on? Luckily, I think that the way that I've now described the duanum's reproduction is that they physically cannot have kids with anyone who isn't a duanum. I don't know if that makes it easier or more complicated. I think easier. I don't have to think about, like, what is a half duanum, half deja means? Like, it doesn't matter. That's never gonna happen. Deja? I don't know how to pronounce it, unfortunately. Yeah. If they don't have intimacy, if they don't want a child, and if they do want intimacy but not a child, they can opt. You opt into wanting the kid separately from opting into intimacy, I think is the way that I've interpreted it. Because it's basically like a magical contraceptive. There's still possibly the chance that maybe during the course of having a good time, you think to yourself, hey, you know, I wouldn't mind having a kid with the person that I'm currently being intimate with. And then you wake up in a week and you're like, oh shit. There's that chance where, like, if you aren't very consistent about your specific thought on having kids throughout the time, then you might accidentally have a kid or not have a kid, depending on. But like, if you're consistent, you're probably fine. You're probably all good. It's all about mental fortitude. You gotta have it strong in your brain. If you have a very strong opinion on whether you accidentally want kids, you're just like, I don't want kids. And it's like, okay, it's like, I want kids, then you'll probably have one. There's still that chance it won't work that time, but maybe next time. If you're consistent about it, it'll happen eventually. Unless you have, like, your crystals kind of busted. Because they do be like this. Sometimes your crystals just kind of busted. And sorry, she knows how and when her daughter will die. So one of the reasons she just had to have the child alone is she doesn't want to have to introduce the child to the father and then she dies. Okay, right. It's like, oh, I know my daughter's gonna die when she's 5. It's like, there's no, it's gonna be heartbreaking for the father. No thanks. Whoosh. Time to look and go to sleep, try to sleep thing. Alright, good night, Siobhan. Have a nice sleep. Sleep is good. I need way more sleep. And then everyone finds out she's alive and living in Georgia. 4 months. Yes. That's what I meant. These are my bad notes. These are just notes that I'm clicking through. The 4 months is equivalent to 9 Earth months. That's why I've put this note here, which will be included as a tooltip when I actually write the sentence proper. That will be tooltip to explain that a Utremoch month is 72 days. And so, do the math. So it's, yeah, I meant gestation period. I guess you put they carry the kid. You know, it's fine. There's an all-nighter playing CK3 and making Britain Cornish. Spreading pages everywhere. Hell yeah. All the Cornish pastries. All the Cornish pastries. I really want pastries. I want pastries. I want a citral. Damn it. I'm hungry. I played Minecraft until 3 in the morning. Which I really shouldn't have done because I had class this morning. But then I didn't do anything in class, so it wasn't really a problem. Yeah. No, they care for their kids. They care for their kids. Yeah. So for once they care, yeah. It's like, you are my child and I love you very much. And you've just turned 4 months old. Goodbye, my child. Go out into the world and be your own adult. It's like, what? Pardon? That said, their age of, like, adulthood is possibly lower, but I haven't thought that through, and I'm not going to do that yet. Just because of how, like, magic works. I'm like, maybe they mature slightly faster. I don't know. I don't know. British Cornish type of chick, isn't it? No. Oh, British Cornish, right. I have no idea. I don't know. I am unfamiliar with terms for food that are not the food that I eat. If I don't eat it, I don't know it. Generally. My understanding of food is very small. Which is disappointing, because food is good, but I don't know what food is. I'm scared. I don't know what food is, and at this point, I'm too scared to ask. Oh, I need to put this in. No. The answer is no. Okay. Thank you for everyone else for knowing things that I don't. The answer is no. Okay, it's not type of chicken. Okay. Typically. Type of chicken known as the Cornish chicken that was bred in England. Britain. Yes. The island of Britain. Yes. So I guess, it's a British Cornish chicken. I don't know. I don't know why you call it a British Cornish. You just call it a Cornish chicken. The type of chicken bred. Ah, okay. I don't know what chicken bread would mean. Huh. Oh, breed? What's happening? This is the Cornish chicken. Okay. Right, okay. You don't really have a need to specify that it's British, because Cornish is, by definition, British. So having to mention both would be kind of weird, because there isn't any Cornish that is not British. Just because of the fact that Cornwall is on the island of Britain. Like, well, if it's Cornish, it's British. If it's British, not always Cornish. But if it's Cornish, it's British. And so on. Oh, I didn't actually know there's a Cornwall in New England. Of course there's a Cornwall in England. Why am I even saying that? God damn it. Bloody England. I do this all the time. It's a pain in the ass. This happens everywhere. Just always the same names. We've got New York, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Why do you do that? Why? Or then there's just like York, and it's like, why? No. This keeps happening. Names are hard. Names are hard. Places are bad. And then the British yell at me when I pronounce things wrong. It's like, well, I live here. So no. There's a literal wall of corn between Cornwall and the rest of England. Hell yeah. Of course there is. Of course there is. Okay, there's a literal reservoir in reservoir, which is spelled reservoir, and is literally the word reservoir, but pronounced reservoir. I don't get it, but it exists, and I'm like, why? No. No. Those chickens are Brahma chickens. I was gonna talk about chickens. God damn it. Why is it chickens? Yeah, it's one of them. Children is a conscious decision among intimate partners, as if none of them want to carry the child to term, no child will come from their unions. You know how? Well, I mean, like, yeah, simulators aren't always like specifically accurate because you have to make a degree of abstraction in order to be a game. Like, you know, driving a tractor in Farming Simulator is not the same as actually driving a tractor, you know? There has to be a degree of abstraction. You would assume that, like, the names of things would be accurate, but that's not always true. Like, if you look at, like, stuff like City Skylines, and then you look at, like, the names of, or, like, the buildings they use for the certain industries in City Skylines, they're not correct. Like, the buildings are not used for the correct purposes. And they don't look correct. It's like, what is going on here? I'm not technically minded, but I've been told that there are some weird things going on. They just pick the things that look the coolest, and it's like, that's not what you use that tool for, though. And it just makes pellets, not paper. Best chicken are the ones the strange lady in the marketplace gives you for free, and then you have to go figure out how to be a chicken man for a year until winter. Hell yeah! We all love the strange marketplace chickens. They're the good ones. Brahman cows. And there's Brahman chickens, which are a breed of chicken developed in the Americas. They're an important meat breed in the USA from the 1850s to around 1930. Nice. Hey, DM Stretch. Welcome. Oh yeah. Some tools have different names in different countries, but they have the same purpose. That's... Yes. True. Absolutely true. I think the specific thing that I was drawing on was that, like, some of the actual tools are not being used for the purpose that the game says they are used for. In that, like, I think it was... I haven't watched the video in ages, because it's been a while, and I don't play City Skylines much. It was, like, the wood industry in City Skylines just keeps making pellets and pulp or something. And I was like, what is going on? I don't know. I don't know how any of this happened. Someone mentioned Cornish pastries, and then we started talking about chickens, and then we started talking about other things, and now I'm here. And now I'm confused. There are crystal people in front of me I'm supposed to be writing about, because I'd like to at least start an ethnicity article tonight if I can. So... with one or more other duanum. If one of them, one or more of them wants to have a child, there is a random chance that a small crystal will form inside one of them, which will grow into what it wants to have. Yep. Yep. Grow into a baby over the course of 4 months. Tool tip. More months are 72 days long. Do the math. The do the math is invisible, but you gotta know. Yeah, it's all complicated. And video games. It's all weird. Because I guess part of it would be that the people making the video games and the people who farm the things are not always same people. So there's always going to be a slight bit of, like, you know, disconnect there. I don't know. Maybe it'd probably be decent. Right. So how the tools work. So the general mechanics of the game are accurate, or at least they pretty accurately represent the processes that occur in real life. But I think the question was more that are they using the correct words to describe the tools and the creatures that are being at play, I guess, which can always be sort of hit or miss depending on regionalisms. It's possible that whoever is making Farming Simulator 19 or whatever is from a region of America that calls Cornish chickens British Cornish, and that most places outside of that specific region do just call them Cornish. It's possible it's a regionalism that gets confusing. So they usually have reasons for why they're called like the wrong thing, but you know, it's hard to tell if you don't like ask. Game devs don't drive around in tractors and grow walls of corn as research. I mean, I'm sure some of them do, and I respect the shit out of them for that. Clearly, the people at, I've forgotten the name, Paradox? They clearly went back in time and began, you know, going through the entirety of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, banging the Pope, you know? As research, you know? As research, they had to go back in time and bang the Pope. In order to make CK3. You know? Obviously. All game devs do stuff like that. Obviously. Breeds in the US came from Europe, so many of the names have carried over. They've been breeches. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So they might, so then they might actually distinguish between a Cornish chicken that is mostly British and a Cornish chicken that is mostly American, because there'd be a divergence there at some point. And they might taste different. Okay, that makes more sense. It makes sense that they would make that distinction. So you would have the British Cornish version and the American Cornish, and then I guess Australian Cornish if you want. Yeah. Got it. That makes sense. That explains the confusion there. Because I hadn't thought that, like, oh yeah, if you take a bunch of Cornish chicken and you take it to America for about 100 years, they're probably not going to be the same as the ones back in Cornwall. So you get British Cornish and American Cornish. Or one of them is just called Cornish. Who knows? But that makes sense to me. I'm going to put cake. It typically isn't important there. Then we're to 24 days season rotation, so a game year is really 96 days in real life. Right, okay. That makes sense. So to just run it through a little bit faster. Just a little bit faster. And you get to see more of the stuff. A bit quicker. What am I missing? Well, I guess the lifespan goes in the sidebar, so I don't actually need that. And then I mentioned the gender thing. I've alluded to the fact that you can be polyamorous and have many things happen. Occurs there. Wants to have a child, there's a random chance there's multiple forms inside one of them, which will go into the baby over the course of 4 months. Read the thing. I didn't stylize tooltips because I hate dealing with them. They're a pain in the ass, but I probably should actually stylize that. That doesn't look correct. 1, 2, 3, 4 games years. Ah, yeah. And then your series was polyamorous. Hell yeah. I think like there would be a degree of that happening here, just 'cause I think it's cool. I think it's neat. Just have it. Why not? Just have it. I'm gonna pop that out. I've made that note. I've basically covered. I did cover that? I did, yeah. I've covered that. And then I basically already know that. This is not useful information to have anymore, but part of me feels like I should actually just be keeping notes on what I've called shit. So I might just quickly, real quick. This is the Utromork. I'm gonna make it. What are these? What does that mean? These colors mean nothing to me. I'm sorry. Rich Razzleberry. God damn it. God damn it. Name, origins, quote unquote. Okay, so. One M. And then that will look like something, I'm sure. There you go. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The notes don't need to be good. I just wanna have them. Just in case. Just on the side bit. No one dies, so being one person forever is not practical. Mortals only live 100 years, so for them forever is a short amount of time. Yeah. That makes sense. Being monogamous in an immortal system seems kind of sort of boring. I mean, friendship is good. And having a well-developed like friendship circle is helpful to alleviating marital boredom, one would assume. But I can understand why they'd be like, yeah, we're not going to be monogamous here. We're going to have just, work with that. And then of course you have your immortal your immortal like partners, and then you also have the mortal partners at the same time. So you're definitely, at least bigamous, at least. I guess polygamous, because like polyamory is like a bunch of people at the same time, like together. But polygamy is separate wives, really. Usually it's wives. Like you'll have one dude and he has 3 wives, but those wives are not married to each other. They're just married to the dude. They're not really dating each other. Whereas in polyamory, they're kind of like all dating each other. It's a whole thing. But most people like will understand the basic point. When you say like polygamy or polyamory, they're like, oh yeah, alright, multiple people. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Aha! Immortals, right? That's the whole thing of Immortals. Like, ah yes, all my friends are dead. Shit. All of my friends. They're all dead. I'm pretty sure I have an immortal character somewhere who's been through that multiple times. Ah, I still haven't done that. I still haven't done that. Okay. Add to the food sources. Ah, yeah. That makes sense. Because a lot of the cultures would congregate around the food sources initially, and then you sort of like expand out from there. The food and water. They're all dead, Dave. Everybody's dead. God, I haven't seen that movie either. Fuck. God damn it. Why have I not seen films? I am a disgrace. Average height. What's the average height of a people? Of a people. How tall are you? About 1'6". I'm average. I'm smack dab in the middle. It's great. Maximum running. Alright. Jesus. Red Dwarf is coming. Oh, is that from Red Dwarf? I assumed that was from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Ah, shit. Spoiled again. I assumed it was just... why did I assume it was 2001? I don't know why I assumed. Right, yeah, anatomically modern humans. Yes. The Homo sapiens modernus or whatever, you know? It's fine. As opposed to the old motherfuckers. The ancient peoples. I mean, we're working in the future here, so I would be... if I'm going to use any version of humans as a basis for tweaking for the Duanum, I would be using anatomically modern humans, because that's closest to an equivalent. And human species are getting bigger. Oh, that's why I'm so short. Because everyone else is huge. Everyone else is going, woo, and I'm like, Ted said if he's taller than me. You're all just really tall up there. And like, everyone I know is taller than me. The only person who isn't taller than me is like my mom and my grandma. Both of my grandmas. But that's because all three of them stoop. Like, I'm pretty sure if all of them straightened their backs, they're all taller than me. Because I'm like 164. I'm like, why? I'm so tiny. I'll disappear in a gust of wind if it blows too hard. Is music playing? Please. Music go? Oh, yeah, it's gone. Alright. Yeah, right? When there's someone shorter than me, it's incredible. I'm like, oh my god, you're real. I think I had that, oh god, in high school. Friend group I was in for the last couple of years of high school. All of them taller than me, because most of them were older than me, and also, like, dudes, so they're, like, quite tall. And I'm short. And then a younger person came in, who was a year younger than me, who was shorter. And I was like, finally, I'm not the shortest person here. And then they had a growth spurt when they turned 17, and they're taller than me now. And it upsets me. I hate that she's taller than me. Because I stopped growing in like age 14, and I've just been sitting here like, I am not supposed to be 5'4", but here I am. I am 5'4", and I don't like it. I'm pretty sure it's 5'4". It's either 5'4" or 5'3", but I think it's 5'4". I'm like, that is too short. Even though I'm like bang average, they're like, no, you're too short. And I'm like, but the reason it's the average is because most people are like 1'7", but then there's like a lot of people who are really short. You know, like they're really short. And they bring the average down. And so, you know, if like you exclude them, you shouldn't. You should include them. They're people, obviously. Include them in the average height of people. But if you were to discount like little people, then I'm pretty sure the average goes up by like 5 centimeters, and then I'm shorter than average, and I'm like, damn. I'm 3. Really? Wow. I honestly assume that everyone online is like at least 5'5". Half the time. It's like, unless I'm told otherwise, you're at least taller than me, and then it goes up from there. And then sometimes people are actually shorter than me. I'm like, ah! Yeah, exactly, right? You want that bell curve. And so I'm pretty sure the way that the data spreads, they're basically like sort of peaks in certain spots. But that's okay. It doesn't really make a difference to me because I'm tall enough to do what I need to do most of the time. Failing that, I have a stepladder. Now the main thing I need is someone to open the jars. That's the main thing. I'm going to say 1'7" is the average height for the Duanum. Just because I like them to be tall. And there's no biological differences, so just chuck in a number and have them go for it. I mean, yeah, being short is yeah. I suppose that's true. Well, specifically, it's useful to be short and thin. Short and way little. You can get you can get a lot in there. I say that having not been on a plane in like 4 years. I'm like, I don't remember planes. Average weight. I don't want to have to do the math on that. Ah, yeah. Oh, I think my shoes add at least like an inch, which is good. I'm basically never outside without shoes, and I have combat boots that are like, probably do add actually like a full inch to my combat boots, and I'm like, yes! Victory! Short. 9'6". Nice. And he was short and wide, like a friendly ball. Aww. That's a fun way to describe it. A friendly ball. I think at least, well, neither of my nanas are really like friendly balls. They're a lot bonier. Too pointy to be a ball. Flip-flops are considered dress. Really? Wow. Damn. I mean, I feel like in parts of Australia, the same is true. Ooh, yeah, Denver Fog in 90 minutes. Ooh, oh yeah, mapping it out, right? And they did their, like, relaunch. Like, their brand relaunch, and it looks good. It looks great. Where did I put... Oh, I moved the server, damn it. Hell yeah. Still 2 above average, yeah. See, we're above average, but then it's like part of how the spread works is that half the time it just means I'm actually just average, or less than. Like, I think I'm exactly average for someone like my age. And I'm like, this sucks. This sucks. I'm gonna have to do average weight calculations. That's just a pain in the butt. Why did it remove? I guess I wanna see. Let's just see. That's not helpful. Okay, that's more helpful. Okay, that is more helpful. I guess. Sure. I'm not going to use that information. And I'm going to have to do that math. And as a math I do not want to do. 181 in normal minutes. Yeah, the strange system. I think you're 7 foot at least, right? 6 foot, sorry, 6 foot. You're at least 6 foot. Beyond that, I think actually you might be basically bang on 6. Right? 6'4". Oh boy. Oops. There's a whole foot. There's the whole foot. 1 foot 4 inches taller. Oof. You're a full foot taller than me. That's too tall. I'm pretty sure like my brother is a full foot taller than me, and that's just too tall. We can't fit in photos. I have to be just like, and he has to be like, squat down. Oh, there's cushion. Needs a cushion. His feet in inches when measuring people because it's difficult to scale close to 3 centimeters. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I was talking about the feet years and to see if he stuck ahead. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you're all good, you're all fine, you understand, and then... Damn it. And the downside of being tall is you bang your head in a lot of stuff. It's like, oof. That's rough. I don't want that. And I don't have it. So, like, I'm good. It's great. Ugh, that's not where I want to be. No, I don't want to be in there. I need 7, 9. Oh, so just taller. You need to have really good posture and some good shoes. Just to be just that like same height. Just that little bit extra. He's for 192. Oy. So then I was basically right. Dillian is about 6 foot. He's taller than me, but a few centimeters. He's older than you, but a few centimeters shorter. Nice. Just that little bit. A little bit makes a difference. Did I want to include anything else in this article? Well, I guess there's the subgroups, and I did want to go into those a little bit. Jesus, alright. And yes, it is. I haven't named them. I meant to, and I forgot to. Ooh. Dad, I need you. I can't reach the middle shelf of the top shelf of the cabinet. Dad, I need you. I can't reach the middle shelf of the pantry. Here, and Serena's athletic experiment 6'4". Goddamn. Grown up? You're like gonna be well over 6. Yeah. Yeah. I think the way that the genetic's supposed to work is that I'm supposed to be like 5'7". So I'm missing 3 inches. And it's way too late now. So I'm like, damn it. Shit. The genetic lottery was cruel to me, and so I don't get to be 5'7". That said, probably for the best. He's only 15, but he's already 5'7". Yeah, he's got plenty of time. He will get an extra like 2 or 3 inches already. You'll see, at Christmas, you'll just look at me and be like, holy shit. A whole extra inch already. Just appears. Well, most of the time. Based on my experience, they hit like 17, and it's like, whoop. The last little spurt, and then it still stops off. I think. Is how that usually works? I wouldn't know. So, naturally The Duanum are not monolithic in biology or culture. There are many subdivisions of Duanum that are used throughout Utrecht, but the largest or most significant categories are unordered list, baby. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Oop. Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm mutated because points at everybody else. Why are you so tall? Rude. Either 5'2" tall women end up being actors because they look big on camera. Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Nope. Wrong channel. I think, oh god, so my dad's tall, my brother's tall, my sister's pretty tall, my mom is not tall. So I got my genetics from my mom, where you just stop dead at like age 13. You hit your growth spurt when you're like 12, like last year at primary school or whatever, or I guess middle school. Don't worry about it. You hit your growth spurt in middle school / the end of primary school, and then it just stops. And so you're stuck being like 5'2" for the rest of your life. And you're like, really? Which was worse for my mom, because she was a basketball player and she stopped growing age like 14, and she used to be like, no basketball terms, she used to be the person who did the shooting. She used to be on attack, and she's too short. So they eventually were like, yeah, go be a referee. She's like, alright, fair enough. I thought it was 6'5". God damn, too tall, too tall. That's way too tall. I had a terror deck for all of like 5 minutes. One point, and then my sister wouldn't let me keep it, and I was like, but I want it. And she's like, no, my friend's like into Wicca and all that, she wants it. And I'm like, damn it. Yeah, she should have it, she would get more use out of it. Tarot's cool. I like Tarot's neat, and they're often very pretty. I'm a sucker for aesthetic. I'm gonna just have to be really vague. There's the Calderans. The people. Oh, we'll put that in bold. Live in terms of width, so they kept plus me at the goal during soccer and you absorb the balls. Oh my god. Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens a bunch. I remember I used to play lacrosse, and if we were like a practice match against a team in a different league, like it was like the Chadston team or something, so we were in goddamn Chadston. Who wants to be in Chadston? And they're like an A league team, we're a B league team. We're just messing around, and they're like, hey, Isaac, do you want to go be goalie for a quarter or whatever? And I was like, sure. I'm a stick, and have always been a stick. So there's this tiny little stick. I'm like 10, and I'm holding a net, because you have like this big like goalie like hoop. The player hoops are a lot smaller. The goalies is huge. I'm pretty sure that the goalie net that I was holding on the edge of my lacrosse stick was bigger than my torso. And so that didn't go well. And I did goalie, and then I came off the field and I was like, I'm never doing that again. And they're like, yeah, no, we'll keep you on the wings, it's fine. And I'm like, good. Good. Correct response. I think the Taras series needs to make so people who know the subject matter can appreciate. Yeah. It's always a good idea to, if you're going to include the things in the story, to at least sort of have a basic appreciation of how those things work, and to attempt to put them in there sort of like faithfully or correct. Unless like it being incorrect is important, if there's no need, you should just have it be accurate. There's no reason to not be accurate, really. In general, anyway. In general, be accurate. Be accurate where you can. You haven't mentioned the short guys. Yeah, exactly. The short guys are like 6'4", and I'm like, no. I'm tiny. I was like, no, I did not. I did not like them using their lacrosse sticks to just piff shit at me. I'm like, nah. I missed a lot of goals, and I always do. I'm a shit goalie because I panic. I'm holding the stick, someone shoots a goal, I stand there, I literally close my eyes, and then people start yelling at me, I open my eyes, I caught the ball, and now I'm just like, what do I do? What do I do now? Ah! And that was fun. I was like, okay, you guys, go time. I was like, ah, there goes now. God. Lacrosse was fun. Soccer was also fun. I wasn't good at that either. I wasn't good at team sports. I'm predominantly a sprinter. Or I was. I'm not anymore. Good lord. Cool. What's fitness? A resin speech ball sunshine is on the shorter side. I wouldn't know. I don't know. Possibly? I don't know how tall Q is. Oh god. Oh yes, because the arm is moving more distance, it gets the more momentum or something. I'm like, ah, shit. It's terrifying. And it was very terrifying for that lacrosse game, because I'm pretty sure the league they were not only in a different league, they were in a different age bracket. So most of us are like 12, except for one girl who was 13. She was like our single overager. We were allowed to have one, so she was our overager player. The rest of us are like between the ages of 10 and 12. And I'm pretty sure they were all like 14. And like built. And in a different league level. And I was like, ah, shit. Oh, Jesus. It was terrifying. It was fun. Terrifying. We were very bad at lacrosse. We were just not good at that game. Our team was very bad. In our defense, I think most of the players hadn't heard of lacrosse until we arrived at that very muddy field in Scoresby to play. I don't even know how I found out about it. The French? Who knows? Usain Bolt went to 28 miles. That's too fast. That's way too fast. I didn't get anywhere near like that. Jesus. I was a 100-meter sprinter. Maybe 120. Any further than 120, we're out. I can't run that far. You return! Welcome back, Day. Dinner was good. Hell yeah! What'd you have for dinner? What food did you have? People... Most commonly found in the central wraps. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, full 40 speed. Nice. Hold on. I'm trying to remember. Hold on, I can do the math. It was, oh, was it 100? Was it 7 or was it 14? I'm gonna think 14. I could do 7 minutes a second. I could do 7 minutes per second. For a brief, beautiful time of age 14, I could do 7 minutes per second. Because that was the 100 meter run. I could do it about 14 seconds. I think. Was the well, no, not 14 flat. It's probably closer to like 14.4. Well, no, it makes it what? Yeah, so like 7-ish, 7-ish, thereabouts. That's how that usually worked, right? I don't know how that translates to Mars. I guess you just times it by 60 and you go. So like, boop. Make sure that's definitely in the correct order. Get that buzz mass going. From 60, so about 400 meters per hour. I don't know. No, that's per minute. 400 meters per minute. That's correct. And then you times that by 60 again. Oh, and you get 25k in an hour? No. But sure. Yeah, sure. Sure. My endurance doesn't last that long, but it's fine. 802 minutes, 28 seconds. Oh god. I never got that low. I never got to 220. I think I was a 3-minute 800 runner. Really? That 3 minutes? And I used to do like the long, like, and then you do 100 meters in 8 minutes. And then I used to do 2k. I think I did a 3k a couple times. That went very poorly. Fuck 3k. This is all like 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure if I tried to run 100 meters now, it'd be 20 seconds. And a 400 would take me 2 minutes. Because I do not have the endurance for that stuff. Even though I did a lot of it. I'm not a long distance runner and never have been. I don't know why they kept making me do it. It's because my school was shit. My school was just really bad athletics, and there was like 2 of us who were decent at long distance. They're like, she's good, she's legitimately good, and then you're okay. You go do the cross country. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do cross country. And I realized I hated running. Distance in track, but I had put straight. Yeah, I was a sprinter. And I think the distance that we worked at was my perfect distance. Was like 123 meters. Almost exactly. Was my perfect limit, because it was far enough for me to build up speed, because you start off a bit slow when you start. And then like you get your stride in about 20 meters in or something, and you get the most bang for your buck, for me, in 120 meters, because after 120 it drops off, because now I'm tired. But 120 was just about perfect, because that was like the distance that made me win a handicap race, because the person who was really fast was on my ass the entire time, but I just made it across the line before I like should drop off. God damn, that was a good day. Oh yeah, you run faster in competition because you have someone to chase, ideally. Well, maybe not ideally, but like you have people around you pushing you forward and pulling you along. In practice, you're all just kind of milling around half the time. You had a bunch of skiing in PE. That was fun. Especially when we skied on ice during the very windy day and ended up getting carried by the wind to the wrong place. Oh no. Oh dear. We didn't do skiing, but that's because we're in Australia. We went tobogganing once. That went very, very poorly. Tobogganing did not go well. We had a collision. I wasn't in it. I didn't get hit, but 2 kids full-on collided on the big hill, and they had to like tell everyone to stop coming down the hill for 5 minutes while we got the kid off. He was fine, but like it hit. They got hit. It was a bad day. Fun day, bad day. Yeah, we have snow sometimes. We have snow sometimes, because we're just far enough southeast to get snow. If you go to like there's no snow in Queensland. Well, there is, but like there's not. There's snow here though. We went to like I don't remember what it's called. Snow is just a myth. It's a myth, like Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and Mothman. You know, it doesn't exist. It's fake. It's fake. It's all fake. And then now it's not really house. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still snowing where I am, like in the hills, I mean. Just because you've had really cold days randomly, so I feel like it would be snowing, and then not right now. Not right now, it's like... Today was like 20, so probably not snowing today, but like a couple days ago it was. It almost certainly was. Why they paint their lawns white? It's all to perpetuate the lie. They perpetuate the lie of snow, so you keep buying, like, shovels to shovel your snow. And all those grips on your doodads. Oh, okay. Winter in Australia is... I think it got to like 10 degrees Celsius, which I believe is like 50, 60, 70? Don't quote me on that. Do not quote me. Celsius. Fahrenheit. Give me 50. We can hit 50. As the peak temperature for a day, we can hit 50. We've had days where it's like, it starts off with like 4 degrees. It's like 40. Sucks. It's cold. It's freezy cooly. Freezy cooly down here sometimes, not always. Mostly just wet. We're like a little bit of Britain transplanted directly onto Australia. Melbourne is annoying. I know, David, I'm translating for the benefit of the audience, alright? Translating. Converting. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Comment on the internet. Yeah, because more people use Celsius, so hypothetically more information is in Celsius. That makes sense. Central region. Cold there. Don't you dare. Don't you dare start a riot in my chat, Day. I swear to God. I will blow up your house. I will not blow up your Minecraft house. Your Minecraft house is very good. I will leave you a present outside your front gate, and it'll be a piece of TNT that will blow up the ice. That too, yeah, because water temperature, and that's important for the animals. Whereas Kelvin, you use Kelvin. Yeah. Got it. But if you're dealing with people, use Fahrenheit. That makes sense. I get it. I understand. I understand the purposes. That's the threat, is I'm just gonna blow up the ice again and have you deal with that stuff. Yeah, because Fahrenheit is based on human body measurement. So it makes sense for that purpose. But I'm just a diehard Celsius individual, so I'm like, I know Celsius, I get it. It makes sense. We assume it's metric because the two primary measurements are divisible by, well, one's 0. 0 is the freezing point of water, and 100 is the boiling point of water. So we just make the extrapolation that it divides into 10. Oh yeah, if it's below 0 in America, it's cold. Whereas if I say it's below 30, it's cold. Right? If I say it's below 30, it's cold. It's cold here. In terms of Fahrenheit, it's cold. Trust me, it's cold. I promise. 0 is cold. That's very cold. Below 0 is very cold. Jesus Christ. No thanks. I like winter as much as the next person. No, not dealing with -20. That's terrifying. Yes, of course it can, but in general. The general vibe. The general vibe is that it's about 32. No, it's about 100. So, Calderans are some of the most devoted followers, I should say worshippers, of, we'll link to Beati, because I have a Beati article. Beati article. Their control over, and this is gonna be heart. Yeah, if it's almost 0 in Kelvin, oh shit. Their control over Beari's heart lends them, it grants them much prosperity, and they are among the tallest and most long-lived of the Duanum. 98-degree temperatures. Yeah. 40 is a lot. 40 is a lot. 40 is 100. Yeah. 40 is not good. 30, 86? 86 is about the top end for me. 86 degrees Fahrenheit is where that's about where my pleasantness ends. My range is between 20 and 30, which is about 70 and 80. That-ish range. I'm like, that's the sweet spot of good temperature. Whether or not we're standing, obviously. Because if it's like 86 and wet, then it's disgusting. Or, 30 degrees and wet. It's just like, ugh. Ugh. That's why I don't go to Queensland. It's humid. It's disgusting. Like, it's usually pretty good. Like, 30, like, that is about, like, peak of, like, nice weather. Nice weather in 36. Minimum storm temperature. Saunas are different. It is a different need. Because we've got the Calderans, we've got... The next group is... I'm just going to call them Yserdans. But they're not Yserdans. They're called something different. Found in the north... on the north and eastern coasts. They need a name. I need to do it. I shouldn't go. You gotta go Ysar. Ysar are the least devoted to Bayari. Largely choosing to worship. I didn't make an article for Ysar, did I? I did not. I should make an article for Ysar. Because I will have to make that article at some point. Ysar. Conectar. Fire, sun, God in Utromor. I can't add a tag in this, so we're just gonna have to do it like that. Florida is normally between 82 degrees and 90 degrees. Yeah, exactly. That's disgusting. This is ugh. It's too wet. It's too humid. Disgusting. Oh, and I'll see you in a minute, Bob. We will be there. I promise you, we will be there. It will not take long. Florida's coming at 29. Huh. That's not too bad. Oh, yep. Bobby is indeed up. Okay. I'm just gonna finish this Ysern Bob dot point, and then we will be raiding Bob. So I give you that pre-warning that we're about to go on a raid, because 12 o'clock, it is my end time. To prepare for the raid call, you can use the channel points, which are some, I think, over there-ish. Well, I mean, they're over, like, there-ish. You claim the channel points, and you get the big angry toaster. And that's part of our raid shouts. So you can use channel points to get angry toaster. Oh god. Not the decapitation. I mean, yeah, decapitation mod's fun. In Minecraft. Yes. So you can have player heads. That stuff's fun. That stuff is very fun. Need to worship. Yes, sir. Will it make angry toast? It can. It can. Perhaps it can. Perhaps it can. The mountain ranges keep them from having access to Beatty's heart, and their resultant poverty means they resulting harsh circumstances. And their harsh, I guess, a harsh environment. Nope, not F12. No. Their harsh environment results in being shorter and and living less. I guess living shorter. For being and living shorter. For being and living shorter. There you go. That's a phrase. That's a phrase. Hinsborough County, Florida, 89% humidity today. Check the temp. Ah, yeah, that would help. That would be helpful. Okay, so there's that. So I've done 1 and a bit sections. What's the weather? I'll do it in the other tab just because. Celsius. Oh no, it's just weather. Weather in where I am currently. It's currently 15 degrees, and it's like 60% humid, but it is also midnight, so it doesn't matter, you know. It's fine, you know? Anyway, so it is midnight. Bob is now live, which means it is time to raid. So, I shall begin the raid. Oop, sorry, Bob. There we go. Okay, so we're going to raid Dinosaur Bob. Thank you all for coming. I hope you had a lovely day, whatever it is that you were doing, whether you're being productive or you're talking about chickens. Everything is fun. Everything is good. Everyone's having a good time. We have a raid call, and that is get ready. When they get ready, we throw toast. We throw toast. Throw toast. That's why we want the toast emote. It's good. I think it's good. It's my favorite. So I think I hope you had a lovely time. You will have a lovely time if you stick around with Bob. I don't know what Bob's doing today, but I'm sure it will be fun. It usually is. So I will see you all around. Bye-bye.